Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to be going through and giving you guys 5 players who I personally believe are overrated and they occupy their trade in League 2. Is it occupy your trade, play your trade? Something like that. You get the gist of the idea. As always, this is just my personal opinion. I'm sure you will probably disagree, but I'm not going to say the best player in the division like a Jody Jones is overrated, because let's be honest, he's not. These are genuinely 5 players who I think are rated by their club or just general League 2 and football fans, and I don't think they're as good as what some people might make out. I've got different reasons for each player, so make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. 150 likes on today's video will be massively appreciated, and don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. Up first then is Carlisle United's John Mellish. Now I know after Carlisle's win at the weekend, and there's going to be a few people from Cumbria down in the comment section down below telling me Carlisle are the best team in the world and John Mellish was amazing for them at the weekend, but let's be honest, John Mellish has had a really poor season so far, and he is kind of living off of previous years at Carlisle. So far, he's scored the 2 goals this season and also chipped in with 1 assist. He's had 15 appearances, 13 of them being starts as well, so he's featured in every League 2 match so far, and I don't know where Carlisle are in the table. They're actually still currently down in the relegation zone, 1 point away from safety with the worst goal difference in the league, and John Mellish is a man who's played centre-half, central midfield. Carlisle fans, let me know down below, what do you think is his best position? But from what I've seen of John Mellish so far this season, I think he's been a contributing factor to some of the goals that they have conceded. He's not really contributing much going forward. The goals he is contributing in, they're not really meaningful. You know, he scored in a 3-1 defeat away to Walsall and a 4-1 defeat away to Gillingham. I think that was the opening day of the season. So I personally believe John Mellish is having a poor season. You look at his performance against my team Bradford City, massively at fault for our first goal, kind of gets the ball stuck under his feet, slips on the ball, and we end up scoring inside a couple of minutes. I know after the result of the weekend, some Carlisle fans might disagree, but if you look at the general picture of this season, I think Carlisle have got better central defenders and central midfielders than John Mellish, but he seems to be rated very highly by the Carlisle fans. Second on this list, and I must say they are in no particular order, we have George Lapslie of Gillingham FC, a man who I thought was very good for Mansfield Town, to be honest with you, but since making his move to Gillingham, I just don't see what all these different managers see in George Lapslie. He's had 3 or 4 different gaffers now with the Gills, and they all seem to play him very consistently, and I just don't see what he brings. This season, he's played in 12 League 2 matches, just a 1 goal and no assist, playing as an attacking midfielder or a second striker. Defensively, contributes very little, 0.3 interceptions per game, 0.3 clearances per game as well, wins only 34% of his aerial duels, only averages 0.3 dribbles per 90 as well. It doesn't really create many chances. He's missed 2 big chances so far this season, and he's only created the 1. I'm just not too sure what George Lapslie does. He's meant to be a bit of a house, but doesn't really offer anything else. You know, he kind of tries to wind up the opposition fans, which is all well and good if you're going to kind of back that up with your performances on the pitch, but he never really does. I don't personally see what George Lapslie brings to a team for so many different managers to constantly be picking him. Even last season, 3 goals and 1 assist in 36 League 2 appearances for an attacking midfielder. Absolutely dreadful. I don't know why all these managers keep playing him, and I'd love to know what the Gillingham fans actually think about George Lapslie, because for me personally, I think he's massively overrated. Third up on today's list is Isaac Ogere of AFC Wimbledon. Now, he is only 22 years of age, so I'm not going to be too critical of him, but Wimbledon fans go on about him like he's God's gift. And don't get me wrong, he's quite versatile. He can play right back, left back, wide side centre half as well, in a back 3, but I think he struggles defensively. I think he can get bullied at times as well. So far this season, he's made the 11 appearances, no goal contributions, but defensively, his stats don't look particularly great, in all honesty. Just 2 clean sheets for him so far this season, only 0.6 interceptions per game, and only 0.8 tackles per game as well. He wins 54% of his ground duels, but only 36% of his aerial duels. That is absolutely dreadful. You'll find attacking midfielders, strikers, who are similar sort of profiles to Ogere, who win a lot more in the air. Only winning 36% of your aerial duels as a defender is dreadful. Whether you're a fullback or particularly when he's playing centre-half, that is really, really poor. Doesn't really contribute much going forward as well. He's missed 1 big chance so far this season, has failed to create a single big chance as well. Only 0.3 accurate crosses per game as well. So from what I've seen of Ogere, I personally don't rate him too much. I think he is slightly overrated by the AFC Wimbledon fans. I'm sure they won't like that and they won't agree with it, so let me know your thoughts on him down in the comment section down below. Before we do go any further though with today's video, don't forget to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Can we try and hit 150 likes on today's video? That'd be massively appreciated. And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. Do you agree or disagree with my list, and who else do you think is overrated who plays in League Two? Fourth up on today's list is Bradford City's Vadaine Oliver. Now, there's probably going to be a lot of Bradford City fans watching today's video, and you're thinking, well, no one rates Oliver, he's useless. But if you speak to general, wider fans of League Two, and they look at our attacking options, they'll speak about Oliver as not obviously as good as Andy Cook, but they'll say he's still a goal threat. And obviously, any Bradford City fan who's ever watched Vadaine Oliver play will tell you he is poor. And he got a start at a weekend against Fleetwood, and maybe that's playing into this. It was his first start in a year or two for Bradford City, something like that, nearly 2 years, I believe, and he was awful, subbed at half-time. And I just need to get the general consensus across to wider League Two fans that Vadaine Oliver is absolutely useless. I'm so glad his 3-year deal is finally coming to an end at the end of this season. He's on big money, and I think he's scored about 5 goals. Don't even think he's got 5 league goals though for Bradford City throughout his time. This season he's made the 9 appearances, no goals, no assists. For someone who's so tall, only wins 61% of his aerial duels, which isn't amazing for... That's kind of his main game, you know, to win the flick-ons and all that sort of stuff. He really struggles to pin plays. We saw last week against Aldershot in the FA Cup, largely at fault for the goal that we gave away. The ball will come into his feet and he fails to hold his man off. He fails to hold the ball up, and it happens so many times. There's a reason why he's been back up to Andy Cook, and why a few different managers haven't really put the trust in Vadaine Oliver. From what I've seen of him though so far, I think he's massively overrated, and he's no goal threat whatsoever. Even last season, when he went out on loan to Stevenage, failed to score there. At Bradford City last season, failed to score as well, and in his first year with the football club he got just 3 league goals in 30. Massively overrated by wider League Two fans, I would say. And last up on today's list is Tom Davies of Tranmere Rovers. Now, it's a bit more of a niche one this for me. Every time that I watch Tom Davies play over the last couple of years with Tranmere, I think he's really poor, constantly out of position, struggles up against the bigger physical sort of strikers. Obviously Andy Cook, the man he was meant to be marking this season, scored a brace past his side, now 32 years of age, and I just don't see what he really brings to a team. 13 appearances for him so far this season, just the 4 clean sheets for him, no goal contributions, averages 1.1 interception per game, 0.6 tackles per game, and only 1.8 balls recovered per game as well. He does average 6.6 clearances per game, which is a positive, but one of his very few positive stats. He only wins 59% of his ground duels and just 69% of his aerial duels. I think for a centre-half it should be at least 75%. And I know that Tranmere have been a pretty poor side over the last couple of seasons, so maybe someone who's robust and available they kind of want to put their focus on and their praise on, because I know they've had a lot of, you know, poor players over the last couple of seasons, especially going forward this year. You know, the likes of Connor Jennings hasn't really delivered. Amari Patrick started out like a house on fire and then hasn't scored for like 10 games or so. So there was a fair few different Tranmere players I could have gone with. Josh Davidson, why they decided to pay money for him, I've no idea. But every time that I watch Tom Davies play, I think he looks uncomfortable on a football pitch. So I'm putting him in as an overrated League Two player. I think he's National League standard at the absolute maximum. But there we have it then. There are 5 League Two players who I personally believe are either overrated by the fans of their own club, wider League Two, or football fans and all that sort of stuff. Hopefully you have all enjoyed just my opinion. I'm sure you will disagree, so make sure to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. 150 likes on today's video will be massively appreciated, and like I say, I'll be debating with you all down in the comment section down below, so make sure to get your thoughts in, as well as any further League Two players that you believe are overrated.